From the News Channel 8 studios, let's talk live with your hosts, Natasha Barrett and Melanie Hastings.
Well, let's get to this. We all vow to change at the start of the new year, but sometimes it's a little tough to get going.
Oh boy, I'll say. And communication expert Stephen Gaffney is here today, and he's going to talk about 8 ways that you can jumpstart your new year. Hi, Stephen. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
As they say, 8 is great on Sesame Street, so we're going to stick to that. Number 1.
New year, new us.
Yes.
How about one tip is to not make any New Year's resolutions?
I like that.
We could meet that.
Oh, so you don't agree with the resolution thing?
Well, I think the thing is that one of the key tips is if you're going to choose to do something, choose a very powerful goal and just stick with it. How about just one overriding goal that you can stick with?
But
that would be a New Year's resolution.
They always say not to make them so meaty so you won't fail.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe not, I'm going to make $10 million this year. How about just improve my bank account by 10%? Or how about lose 10 pounds? Or something that's manageable and we can stick with it. Because here's the thing. If you achieve a goal, it inspires you to choose the next goal. So rather than having so many goals, how about choose one goal?
And eliminates all that clutter, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It allows you to focus. All right, well, let's start with your first tip here, and it's about letting go of the garbage we all seem to carry about, don't we?
Absolutely. Forgiveness is the greatest gift we can give ourselves. How often have you met somebody who's just so hung up about other people, relatives, their boss, their coworker, whatever? How about one New Year's resolution? Give the gift to yourself of forgiveness and let go of something. One thing I realize is that people are generally doing the best they can with what they know to have. I've been doing seminars for over 20 years, and I can tell you, I've never met somebody who said, look, don't tell anybody, but I'm trying to screw it up here. Don't let anybody know. People are generally doing the best they can. It doesn't mean that we should just let them off the hook, but forgiveness is a gift we can give ourselves.
All right, number 2 on your list, stop negotiating things that are not negotiable. What do you mean by this?
Well, I think sometimes in life there are very important things to us that we negotiate and we suffer. For example, honesty. Let's say honesty is very important. It is for most of us. And we have people in our lives who are just not upfront with us, and they're close to us. Stop negotiating things that are not negotiable. Take a stand, because I think one of the ways that we suffer greatly in life is when we negotiate things that fundamentally are not negotiable. So stand up for yourself. Say to that person, listen, this is not okay, and this must change. And if they don't change, you got to change the person, or change your environment.
So we've got to have some principles.
Absolutely.
And we've got to stick with them.
Yeah. How about that as a New Year's resolution? I mean, we're going through 8 of them. How about just choose any one of these, and they will definitely improve your life.
Yeah, and it also may make the other person respect you more.
Absolutely.
Even if you come off sounding a little tough.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Even if you sound a little tough about it, at the same time, they're going to respect you.
Yeah, if we don't take a stand for ourselves in life, who else is going to take a stand for us? We must begin with ourselves.
All right, next up, adopt accountability partners. This is kind of a buddy system thing?
Well, somewhat, but it came from an example. I had a gentleman at a seminar of mine, and he told everybody how he quit smoking. And basically, every time he met somebody, he said, look, I haven't smoked for 10 days. And then it was 2 months, and then it was 3 months. And every time he met somebody, he informed them of his goal. He either had to move or stick with it. So what we often do is we have goals, but we don't tell anybody, because what if I don't achieve it? How about this? Why not tell everybody and say, don't let me off the hook? But if you have one person who will get in your face and hold you accountable, that can make a difference in your life. So choose one person or a few people and stick with it and tell them to get in my face if I don't move forward, because this is very important to me.
Hold me accountable.
And you even went so far as to say, pay them $1 or something each time you screw up,
how
right?
about this? How about, you know what? I'm not going to complain anymore. And every time you hear a complaint, I'll give you $1. You start carving out those dollars, and you know what? Behavior starts to change. Yeah.
You are going to change.
Or you need a new job.
Money talks. Money talks.
All right, next up here is using your strengths.
Absolutely. One of the, in life, whatever we focus on, we get more of. And people tend to focus on their weaknesses and often their mistakes. And what always happens? I mean, have you ever worked for somebody who just constantly points out your mistakes? It doesn't usually inspire greatness. What it is it makes us worry, we're afraid, and we actually make more mistakes. I'm not saying we ignore our weaknesses, but why not focus on what we're really good at, and then putting ourselves in a situation where we can really excel on our strengths. So for example, if you're in a job and you're saying, you know what, I'm just not capitalizing on my strengths, maybe the time is to find a position that really capitalizes on this. Plus, it also makes us feel better about ourselves, which inspires greatness, and we achieve more. So focus on our strengths.
Yeah, I think when you're being criticized all the time, you sort of feel belittled and then it does impede your progress.
I mean, yeah, haven't you met somebody who just, you didn't do this right, you didn't do this right. You don't say, wow, I can't wait to see them tomorrow. You're like,
hang out more.
Right.
That's when you say, you know what, I got the flu. I don't know. I can't make it into work.
So you got choosing a coach or mentor here. Now, this is different from the accountability partner?
Yeah, accountability is somebody who's actually just going to hold you accountable and not let you off the hook. A coach or a mentor is somebody who's great at giving us advice or wisdom in a particular area. So for example, if you really wanted to lose weight or get better in health, who's somebody who's really knowledgeable in our life that will actually, you know, mentor us? And one of the best mentors is somebody who's actually gone through it themselves, or at least coached people to do it and successfully. And sometimes we choose a coach or mentor who's really a good friend, but they're just not that knowledgeable in that area. I know this because I often coach executives and I coach people, and you know, one of the things that we rely on is things that I've seen that is successful that will work. My point is that whatever you do, and even if you're not paying anybody, I mean, you can choose somebody who's probably a relative or a friend who's probably really good at something, hang out with them and ask them to mentor you this year.
Just get some help. Get a buddy and it'll all be better. Steve Gaffney, you always help us along the way. Along the way. Good to see you.
Good to see you, and thank you for having me.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, too.
And best success in the new year.
Thank you.
And happy Hanukkah and happy Halloween and everything else.
We're going to make sure we cover everything.